everyone. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to try and make an electric chair for the Munsters house. It'll be Grandpa's electric chair, which he's got in the sitting room. So I'm going to try and make it out of lots of different little bits and pieces that I found lying about. I've got here my scrap drawer, and I'm going to try and make it out of all scraps of wood and bits and pieces that I can find lying about. So let's hope it all goes well. And I'll show you the bits and pieces first, what we're going to use. And then we'll start trying to fit it all together and see how it turns out. So stay with me and enjoy this build. These are the bits and pieces that I've cut up. And hopefully I've got enough bits and pieces there to make my chair. I've put all the measurements on there so that you can see how many pieces and what I'm using. So if you want to follow along and cut the same pieces, you can. I've never made this before, so we're going to give it a go and see how we get on. First of all, I'm going to start with this square piece here. This is going to be the seat. So what I want to do, I want to put some bits of wood across the seat to make it look like it's got strips of wood on it. I just want to make sure that I've got this right. Yeah. So these are just bits of lolly stick that I've got, and I'm just going to pop a bit of glue on there. Just using a stick to put this on. I find it easier, just old bits of wood that I have lying about, and stick these on there. Because this bit at the bottom here is just a bit of 2mm plywood, so I just wanted to make it a little bit thicker, and I think this will give it a nice nice little edge to the pattern. Stick these 4 on there. And the 4th one there. Stick that on there. There we are. See, and that will then be the seat for the chair. I'm going to do exactly the same with the back bit. This here, this will be the back of the chair, like so. So I'm just going to stick these bits that I cut here onto there, and then we'll carry on after that. Next, I've got my 2 long pieces here from up the top there, which are 11 centimetres long. And what I've done, I've marked just a mark on each one, there and there, 4 centimetres up from the bottom, and that will be where the bottom of the chair sits. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this bit, I've stuck these 2 together like so, and get this bit, and where I've made that 4 centimetre mark there, I'm going to put that at the bottom of the seat, and I'm going to stick those to the chair. So we'll put some glue on those there, all the way down the side. And the other side. And then I'm going to stick my piece of wood, got my 4 centimetre mark there, and I'm just going to sit that, so that's like so, and on the other side, stick the 4 centimetre mark at the bottom of the chair. That's it, so they're even. and I'll just leave that to dry for a moment before we move on to the next step. I'll put a couple of 1, 2, 3 blocks there just to hold it in place while it dries for a minute, and I'll come back. Right, now them 2 side bits are stuck on. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to get these 2 pieces here, the 6.5 centimetre long pieces. They're my front legs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay that in line on there so that I can get the length as to where my armrests are going to go. And they butt up to the end like that. Like so. So if I take the leg away then, that is exactly the right space for my arm to go on. So I'll glue the 2 arms on there. I might need to get a bit more. Oh no, I've got enough glue there. Pop a bit of glue on the end there, my arm. I've drawn a line where it needs to go. So I'm going to stick that on there and put one on the other side. Some glue on there. Stick one on the other side over there. That's that. So they're my 2 arms on there. Once they're dry, then I'll get my legs and stick my legs on the front of the arms like so. So I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to oh, I know what I'll do. I'll brace that first. Bear with me. I need the 2 side bits here, 3.5 centimetre long side bits. Right, so I'll stick these side bits on here. It's just really to cover up the rough edges to make it look a bit nicer. That's that side. Let's put some glue on this one. And stick that one on that side there. That's it. That's those 2 bits on. Then, next, I need the bit that goes across the front here. Is it this bit? I think it's that bit. Stick that on there. Might need to get some more glue. So I'm going to put some glue on there. Across the front there. Hopefully it'll look alright once it all comes together. Alright, and that sticks on there, keeping it level with the seat because I don't want any lumps and bumps in the seat. Push that back a bit. Okay. And then hopefully once that's dry, I can stick my legs like so. So I'm going to get on with that. I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes. Then I'm going to stick these legs on there and then I'll come back to you and we can finish off a bit more. Okay, I've stuck my arms on and I've stuck my front leg on. So I've done that both sides now. And then what I've also done is I put my last bit, my straps across the bottom around all 4 sides there. And I put a bar across the top there because we need to do some fixings on the top up here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to stain and varnish this dark oak. So yeah, I've got my dark oak paint there. I've given it a stir already. So we're just going to give this a coat of this dark oak, and that should make it look a bit better. And then once we've done this, we can start to add our bits and pieces to make it look like an electric chair. So I'm just going to continue painting this dark oak all over, and I'll be back with you in just a moment and we'll start adding the bits for the electric chair. Okay, that's all done, stained and varnished, all dark oak. I think it looks much better now. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the leather straps for the electric chair. I'm going to use the hot glue gun for this. I've plugged it in. So these are my bits of leather strapping that I've got. I've got 4 at 2 centimetres long. And what I'm going to do is, this is really tiny and fiddly. I've got glue stuck to my finger, sorry. Yeah, what I'm going to do is turn them into a circle like that and glue them down like that. So it looks like their wrists go through and their ankles go through. So we need 1 on each arm and 1 on each bottom of the leg there. So if I put a bit of hot glue on the arm of the chair there, only a little bit, we don't need a great deal. And then I'm going to try and get this to go round and onto there. Oh, that's worked out quite well. There, see my little wrist strap there? So that's on the, I'm going to put 1 on the arm here and 1 on each foot of the chair there for the ankles. So I'll just do that. Okay, there's my straps on, 1 on each arm and 1 on each leg there. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is got a longer strap here. This is for to go round the chest. So I'm going to glue this to the back of the chair and bring it over the arms, and that can just stay like that. So I'm going to pop a bit of glue on the back, just above arm height, and stick that to the back there. And then what I need to do is stick it to, bit of glue there. I do that in a minute. Stick a bit of glue on just by the top of each arm, I think, just there, and then bring the strap round so it sticks, hopefully. I'll have to tidy up the bit of glue afterwards, but that's the only trouble with hot glue gun. You get all your stringy bits and all that. There we are, and that's the chest strap. So that's those bits. The next thing is to add the electrical bits on top and the bit that goes on the head. So just bear with me, I'll get them together and I'll come back and show you those. Right, the next, what I've got next is I found these little grommets. I don't know whether you can see that, they're tiny. These little grommets, well, it's what you use to feed wires through to go through the back of the house. So you put it in the hole and then feed the wire through it. So what I'm using them for is the electrical connectors. I've put 1 on top of each of the arms of the chair there, and what I've done is to make the bit that goes on the head. I found an old light fitting. It was a chandelier light fitting, and I bent it over and cut the arms off, and I'm going to use that as the head, the bit that goes over the head. And what I found was been rummaging around trying to find things. You know, the suction things that go on the window to hold your Christmas decorations. Or I got one of them suction pads, and I cut the cut the end of it off there. I've stuck 2 of them grommets on either side, one on either side there, and I'm going to stick that into where the lampshade was, and this is going to be my bit that goes over the head. So I'm just going to put a bit of hot glue on there, on the end of that there. I think I might paint that actually. I don't really like it clear, but stick that in there. And then we've got to start adding some wires. So I've got to stick that somehow on top of the chair. Put a good dab of glue on that. Oh, got overexcited there, I think. Stick that there. Dry off a little bit. There we are. I think that looks quite good actually. That's that. And we'll put some wires on there now. I found some old bits of wire lying about, so we can use those. I think I'll use this one here. Got some wire here. And I can hot glue gun bend over the end there. It's quite fiddly. I don't know whether you can see what I'm doing there. Stick that wire in there. Nope. Nope, it's gone dry before I can get it in there. Let's try again. May hold it. And then I'll have to cut that wire so that can go onto the top of there. Put a bit of glue on the top of that. That's that bit. That's quite good. Then stick a bit of glue on the other side and we can put another bit of wire on there. There we go. Cut that bit of wire. And glue that the other side. There we are. I'll tidy up all this hot glue afterwards. And there. That's that. That looks pretty good, I think. I might add a few more loops of wire to make it look good. But yeah, not too bad. Right, I'll just finish off with a few more bits of wire here and there and I'll come back and show you the finished product. Okay, that's all the wiring done on my electric chair. My straps are on and that's finished. I hope you like it. Please join me in the next video and we'll be making something else for the Munsters house, I expect, or maybe for my Tudor house. We'll see. But I think that turned out quite well. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and press like and give me a comment if you can. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.